guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be all about how I make my thumbnails for YouTube. And I have no idea if there's any interest in this, but I figured since it's something that I do every single week, I might as well make a video about it and show you guys. So my process has definitely sort of evolved over time. You know, when I first started making videos, I just used the suggested thumbnail that YouTube gave me, and a lot of times it would be the title, the little title page that you guys will see in the video that it will have already come past. So I used to use that, and then I started using a picture that I would take and using some text from what was I using? I think I was using CANVA maybe, or I don't remember what, but doing some text. And then eventually, as I got more comfortable with Procreate, I started making my thumbnails using Procreate. So that is what I'm going to show you the process for how I actually do that. And I will do my best to take you through the entire process from A to Z. And in a sort of meta change of events, I'm actually going to be making the thumbnail for this video in this video, because why not? So let's get started. So let's take a look at how I do my thumbnails. I've got my iPad, obviously, need this. I go into my iPad, and the first thing that I need to do is I need my picture. So I do know that I've actually got my picture right here, but typically what I do is I go into Procreate, and I've just got a bunch of random little folders over here. So all of my YouTube thumbnails are in here. And what I'm gonna do is I need to make a new canvas. So I do a YouTube thumbnail. So I've got this. Oh, come on, don't write. There we go. And then go into my little wrenchy guy, whatever you are. Go to add and insert photo. Go here, and now I know it was from kind of a while ago. Here, so this is the photo I want to use. So it actually is the correct size. So now I'm just gonna click off of this so it stops doing weird things. So I have a couple of settings that I like to do kind of straight off the bat. So the first one is I like to do canvas, I do drawing guide, and I edit always because I like to have it black so I can actually see it, and I make the grid size smaller because I tend to write a little bit smaller. So that is my first thing. My next is that whatever I do, I try and do a new layer. I might end up merging them later, but I try to give myself as much wiggle room as I can. So I like to have my new layer there. So we are going to do, this is actually going to be a letter like a Lefty video. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come back into my gallery, and I'm gonna come back over here. I've got a letter like a Lefty over here. For a series, I like to have kind of the same, like to have the same look. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to copy that layer because it's all together, come back here, and I'm going to add paste. So now the question is, where exactly am I going to put it? And I think what I'm going to do, that's not legible, is that? Not entirely. But I think we're going to make it work. So I think what I'm going to do is here, I've got this, and that's actually less illegible. I'm going to kind of leave that for now, and we'll see how it goes. So what I'm going to do now is add in a new layer. So I always have to decide what my title is actually going to be. So let's see, I think I'm gonna do, this is a letter like a Lefty, but it's also a how I video. So this is kind of how I start out. So what colors do I wanna do? I wanna do something that's gonna be kind of vibrant. Let's do purple. I never do purple, because why not? So make sure I use Durango. This is a brush that I got from someone, and I honestly cannot remember. It has been so long since I've gotten this brush. I'll see if I can find it, but I love it for lettering. So I like to use all of my lines here. So, oops, that's too big. Always got to kind of play around. So this one I did all in one layer because this is kind of one unit. Obviously this is much larger than I need it to be or than I want it to be. So what I'm gonna do is plop it down here for right now so it's out of the way. And you can see my lettering is sometimes crazy. Like these are all leaning and that is perfectly up and down. And honestly, I'm not too fussed about it because this is kind of a bouncy style. So we're just gonna leave it for now. So we're gonna do more stoic, whoops, nope. This one I did all on one line because I want it to be together and I want them to be roughly the same size. There, and I think what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna do YouTube because, you know, that makes sense, doesn't it? Now we have to make things fit. So I think this is not the most important thing. We need to make you smaller. This is semi-important. So I want you kind of up here and then here. Whoops. See how that looks? All right, you are not centered. There. So what do we think? So one of the things that I'll do is after I've kind of played around with that is I'll take off my grid and see what it looks like. So that actually seems pretty good. I might lower this how I just a skosh. So here, which is gonna mean lowering everything else a tad. So there, oops, do that. Oop, come on. And YouTube, how's that look? Yeah, I think we like that more. Okay, so this is kind of my first step is I get everything all lettered out and then I decide what sort of like visual effects I want to do. And you guys probably have noticed I don't do anything super crazy. The first step is always I have to go in and alpha lock everything. Whoa, no, undo that. There we go, alpha lock, not mask. So alpha lock all my layers and I'm gonna do this I'm gonna kind of leave as is, I think. So I'm gonna do a second layer on this. I'm gonna do two extra layers on YouTube and I'm gonna do an extra layer on the thumbnails. And I think I'm gonna end up having to move the thumbnails down, but we're gonna see how that goes. So unfortunately, when I do purple, it's super hard to see over here. But what we're gonna look at is what is going to be my second color. So I did a purple, so something that'll look nice but not funky. I don't know. I always have a hard time trying to decide on a second color for these. What's this look like? Let's just give it a go. So drop it in here. So I do fill layer, and then I'm gonna scooch it out. Ooh, that's a funky color. Why not? Let's do that. That's kind of weird. See? That looks kind of cool. So we're gonna do this. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna do the main YouTube. Oops, so top layer. So you'll see here, I've done my top layer there. I'm gonna scoot my second layer out a bit. Just like the tiniest little bit. And then let's see, I wanna do the second layer of thumbnail. Where are you? There you are. So fill layer, and we're gonna scoot. Oops, nope, helps if I can actually do that. Scoot that out just a bit. Okay, and I think we're gonna do a little shadow. So we want, whoops, and I'm gonna actually just do it in black because, whoop, fill layer. So I like to move it and place it, and then I do my opacity. So I'm gonna drop it way, 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 way down. So it's just a little bit of a shadow there. Okay, now I think, let's see, how does this look? Actually, I kind of like that. I feel like the thumbnails is maybe a tiny bit squished. So let's go ahead. So because I've already kind of set this, I'm gonna just merge down, whoops, this one, merge down. So now they are one unit. I'm just gonna kind of scooch him a little out of the way so it's just not quite so squished in. There we go. So then my last step is going to be, how do I like this letter like a lefty? How legible do I think that actually is? And I think it's actually okay. I don't want it to stand out super, super much because this is kind of the important information. So I think I'm actually going to leave it just like that. So once I've kind of decided on everything, and as you can see, I still have a bunch of different layers here. I really will only merge it if I'm going to need to move it somewhere else. So what I'm going to do is, oops, you can see here, is I need to go up here and I need to do share. So I'm going to save it. I know you should do a PNG file, but sometimes they get really big. So I tend to do a JPEG. There we go. And I save image. So now that this is done, I just have to wait to actually finish editing the video before I'm going to add it up. So yeah, that is how I make my thumbnails. Really straightforward. I don't do anything super, super crazy. I want them to still be legible. So I do some drop shadows and stuff, but I tend to just play around with lettering more than anything else. So yeah. So that is basically it. For most of my thumbnails, the taking the picture process is pretty quick. I do a little bit of editing, and then the actual lettering process can take anywhere from like 10 to 30 minutes depending on how long the title is and how crazy I'm going with any sort of like embellishments and that kind of stuff. But typically I keep it pretty simple, and as much as possible I like to sort of batch make my thumbnails. So while I'm in a good like lettering mood, I'll just go ahead and make, you know, 3 or 4 of them, whatever videos I have up and coming. So yeah, if you guys have any comments or questions, let me know down below, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye. Hey guys, so if you've made it all the way to the end of this video and are actually watching my end screen and you're not subscribed to my channel, I would really appreciate it if you would. There's a little button right there for you to do it. And if you're interested in watching some more of my videos, I have links to 2 of my older videos off to the left there, so you can check those out if you would like to, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.